Good afternoon, Free Enterprise, and welcome to our Wednesday slate of games here, beginning here on Free Enterprise. I am Night Dew. Our restreamer today is Neon Gray. For tracker, we do have Fiery Blizzard, and with me today is Clopper. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, as always. Very excited to see some free enterprise, and should be a fun race between these two runners here. We have David on the left and Big Dunka on the right here in round 3 of the waning blue moon.
Yep. As you see, we do have what looks to be again. It's an elimination match for both of them here. Week 5. It is already week 5 of this here. So yeah, about that. And I'm seeing a little bit of discrepancy here. It must be Elements Day below. Can we explain that?
Sure, we got a few there.
Oh no, there they go. Just
Okay.
oh
Well,
wait.
wait.
Oh,
That's a
I,
lot
I
of
was hoping to have
ah.
3 gold bezes there, but no.
Yeah,
No more,
I
no more
assumed it
playable
was the
gold
comedy
bez.
club, but not today. All right. So a little bit of fun there with the boss tracking, but we seeking update to our actual bosses here. So we do have, of course, a Fabu Gauntlet and Golbez there in the first 2 slots, a Dr. Text Box here, Val, the Water Hag, Mylon with Friends variety, a Ogopogo, the Nopus of Ropes, and Ruby.
Yep. I mean, a nice little spread of free, not so free, and could be something different from free here. As we look at it, I had one very recently. We ran into that Mylon and friends up at the up on Zot 2 there, and when you're kind of low level and you get somewhere with like super high magic, those lit one counters that kind of hurt actually.
Yeah, it's Lightning 1, but with a high enough magic stat, that can end up being power or painful when you're right at lower levels. Yeah, that can pose you problems. Also, very scary is if you get into a spot where you just happen to kill him before taking out those zombies. Those punches, they really do hurt. So another thing to be aware of. Usually not too bad of a fight, but not necessarily free, just depending on where you stumble into him.
Yeah, very much so. But again, we have a Rosa here, so this is Blue Moon. So everybody but Fu is on the table. You have one of the best white mages in the game. What do you want to see with this Rosa here?
Yeah, definitely. I think first of all, it's always just kind of a sigh of relief to see a white mage in your party. It just solves so many problems to know you have access to healing, especially when you see that Ogo Pogo getting that damage dealt percent damage. Not having a healer can make that a really slog of a fight. Sorry, having that white mage in your pocket's great. Going with Rosa, it would be good to have, berserkers, people who could get zerked up, just keep them swinging while Rosa does all the healing. And, there's someone who can swing some swords. We have our edge.
That is Edge. That is a turtle, and not required turtle, handing over that music here, and we're off here. So the big thing between if you've been watching Blue Moon and Red Moon, you do have to know that Blue Moon does start off with C Neki flag there. So both of these two probably have one weapon and nothing else. So again, the loot is definitely a little more heavy here in Blue Moon because you can just pick up some better things. But again, it's that point where you're kind of starting and you do need that early loot to kind of progress here.
Yeah, definitely. You can very much feel the sea Neki, especially on Edge there, who does come with generally some pretty good gear, and you really want to have the 2 weapons to make most advantage of his, dual wielding ability. So not having anything on him is painful. But it looks like both of our runners here want to pick up some extra party members, find out who they have and who they need to equip, and we get Palom and Cecil joining the party.
That that is a fully functioning party and 4 members right there. I would take these 4 almost anywhere here. These 4 are totally fine. You find I hate to do it here because I'm one of the bigger Iridia fans out there, but if we find her, she's probably going to be relegated to anchor duty here, as David's going to do a little bit extra shopping to show us some exits. Those would actually be nice. I mean, Paladin Cecil will pick up exit pretty quick. But yeah, you're just not really worried about that. We do find a punch mage in the watery pass and a rune ring. That's always good.
Yep, definitely some good equipment. And yeah, Punch Mage is good if you get those levels, although right now, as you're kind of noting, we do already have some pretty good melee characters, especially with that T Wildish on. Good chance of being able to find some good gear for them, and so they'll likely be able to hit harder than Young. But we'll have to see who else is available in the scene to add to our party.
Yeah, Duncan not really stopping to loot much here. David pops into the Mist Cave and sees everybody's favorite moon ant lion there, taking a vacation on the blue planet.
That's not where you should be. Always on the moon. But Big Dunka is going ahead and doing some looting and is already rewarded with that heroin rope, which can be really nice if you can find a decent weapon for Rosa. She can easily carry through a large portion of the seed with that.
Yep, find a heroin robe there in the Damsian basement. A dragon whip, a rune axe is Cecil as a Cecil weapon there. A middle sword is enough to get that edge moving a little bit here. Decent stuff down in the Damsian basement here, and I wonder if David's going to give us a little bit more of the watery pass that Dunka skipped here, and it does look that way, so let's see if anything actually comes of this that might tip those particular scales.
Definitely is a higher tier loot, so possibility of getting some better gear. But again, everything's randomized, so you have to see just another rune axe, which is still definitely a nice weapon to have. But we know one's already available elsewhere. On
Yep.
Big Dunka's side, though, we see Tella showing up.
The man, the anchor, the legend.
Definitely someone you're happy to see, as well as with also already having, Cecil in your party. You probably want to go ahead and do ordeals anyway, so why not also get this Sage to get a full spell list? And as you noted, a good anchor. He never gets that fast, even with a few levels on him.
Yeah, but again, those kind of later game strategies, and oh hey, that's Dunka is going to reset out of this, but having information of one of our first required boss spotted here, down there in the waterfall, as we do see Doctor Luggage there, so we do have a boss spotted. That one is actually a little rude for the position it's in. Normally that's Octomam, and you're already kind of beating on him and lowering his speed the entire time, but yeah, that's about it. Somebody wants the last 3 minutes in 5 words or fewer. Let's see. Gift party? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty fair there. We have definitely really good set of characters here, as both of our runners are picking those up. Got our White Mage and Rosa, we've got Black Mage and Palom. We have some good physical fighters there in Edge and Cecil. And then we have Tella for just utility and not too fast.
Just D-Lunars on Hobbs, not required. Something I would actually consider, I believe we do start with a big pocket full of Cure 2s. I might weaponize those just for the XP, get some spells in our Quake Kid, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely that is, for an early game location, a pretty good source of experience, and Palom really does need those levels to start being useful. Just that first clearing that location, that'll give him all of his elemental 2 level spells, so any boss you then run into that has an elemental weakness, he's going to do pretty good damage to them. So.
Ooh, big hit on Dunka's side, going a little further, does get Ninja Shirt and a Thunderclaw here, and Cecil did start with a Black Sword, that's about the best he can start with there. Did start with a Silver Knife, so this Edge is actually doing halfway decent already here.
Yep, definitely going to be a contribute with that, and it was important to get that second weapon in, so he gets both the attack power from them, even if they're just middling weapons. For these early parts of the game, he's going to be doing definitely enough damage.
Yep, meanwhile, David is heading over to Troya here. Is going to exercise. We do not have any Demus hunts here on the Blue Moon side of things. Going to go pick up that bedward while Duncan finds finds a Bahamut in the Antlion Cave. Moon's taking a big vacation here to the Blue Planet, apparently.
Yeah, definitely not too scary boss here. You get your pretty long count of 5 with only 1,000 HP to get through, so no need to throw out those star bales. We can just take him out here.
Oh yeah, Edge is already hitting for 400 plus here. And Bedward comes out with a pan today. That's actually pretty good there. Don't have to double dip the bull if you think you don't do it there. Had a boomerang in the public treasury, so Edge's back road as well as an assassin dagger. Okay. Oh, and a white spear for the cane not appearing in the seed. So that second rune axe and that white spear, that's actually a good trust fund early here. You're going to sell both of those in. You're going to have a good amount of cash to buy quite a lot of things you might want to find here.
Yeah, definitely. And we did go ahead on Big Duncan's side, find the hook here in Antlion Cave. So that actually sets you up there for being able to do that single football dip. If you find both your pan and your hook, you know you could go ahead and go underground there and just come back to the pool and do everything all in one go.
Yep, and Dunk has taken that as a big neon sign here to say, let's go to Mountain Ordeals. Has not really done the looting that David has, and is behind a little bit in terms of gear. Does have that Palom and does have a fight under his belt here, so at least if you have tier 2 magic. Go see the character up here. Oh, hey, never mind. We can use that White Lance.
White Spear is going to have good use if you want to pick up the cane, although Big Dunka not having that in his inventory is happy with his current party composition here. Will send cane packing.
I mean, that's an interesting play there. Do you kind of cast agility a little more to the wayside because Kane has a totally viable endgame weapon, even though he is Mr. Average himself? But again, and we have a blue robe. This is required either way? Yeah.
All right, and so we do get the alt gauntlet here in this location. Another reason you're really happy to have Edge in your party. He's able to get through, has AoE for a lot of these fights to help get through quickly.
Fortunately, Flame is going to heal the spirits there, but it's going to take out the skeletons in short order here. He does have enough for 4 flames here, so one of these fights cannot be AoE down. I believe one of them is a solo fight, but I'm pretty sure like one of them is that big 7 zombie fight that you really want that AoE for. The good news is by the time we do get to that here, Palom should be packing fire too as well.
Yep, and be able to help us clear out those fights. So, looks like we'll make good progress through that. David on the left there finishes his antline and is also right there with his hook. So he does know he could, if he chooses, do that single Fagul dip.
Yep, and here is definitely the fight. Oh yeah, that's a big thing there. So Edge has a silver knife, and one of the things we don't think about on like silver weapons there is they are effective versus spirit type enemies like these. So silver knife Edge going to do some work here.
Yeah, exactly. So while his flame is not as useful as it normally would be against a set of enemies, hey, the right set of gear to help him get through these fights fast. So definitely appreciate it.
We're overkilling it a little bit here. I don't think any of these really need 1700 HP worth of killing, but hey, it's nice to show off.
You don't want to have to accidentally attack them twice, so it's really nice to just have those big damage numbers get through there.
Yeah. David also says no to D-Lunars, and yeah, it's a little bit of a slower one here. I was kind of wondering. I didn't really see either of them pick up any kind of real big J items here, so.
No, I didn't see any of those either, so it does look like we're going to have to shoot through these fights a little bit more slowly, but again, still not very dangerous. So we'll take a bit of time to get through. I think as you were kind of noting, Palom there is picking up his Elemental 2 spell, so he's able to do some damage here, and maybe be able to get through these fights a little faster. David is going to go ahead and check out Fagul 1, though, or the Fagul fight here.
Yeah, access that Tella. Everybody knows the prevalence of D machines out here, so. Again, having that Tella here, oh, that's a Lunar Sparkle, and that is, it's just Plague.
Just Plague.
Oh, and that Boomerang that David picked up there, in addition to back rowing that Edge, it does effective damage to Plague here, like Spears and Arrows would as well. Anything doing extra damage to the Flyers there, as we do get one of the flammable fights over there on Dunka's side, but this Plague also not long for this world either.
Definitely don't have to do any shenanigans around that Plague fight, knocking down your own characters, picking them back up to reset the count. Nope, we just have enough damage here. We can just go straight for the kill. Yep, the back half of this gauntlet, definitely a more susceptible to flame, so being able to get through these last 2 fights very quickly here.
And you don't even have to do that tech where people like to burn sirens to get that double Lilith fight. This all gauntlet's all you need. Only a glass hat, which, I mean, I say only a glass hat, but Cecil does appear in this party, and assuming we don't find any, great pieces of armor here, the big thing is that glass hat is a very good option to get Cecil at a back row, doing back row things, which is, again, he does have a rune axe here, which means that, but I mean, cover Cecil is definitely online with a glass hat here.
Yeah, just a ton of physical defense on that glass hat, so you put that on, get Cecil sitting there in the back row, and yeah, he'll really be able to cover it. Big Dunka does find Mylon with his friends here on just one boss location over, so.
Now, interesting find, in Blue Moon here, the back row glitch is enabled, so David did pick up a Dwarf Axe over in Fagul there, and is going to be well served, because I did see him sell a few things. One of the things that was not sold was that White Lance there. So David's going to come up to Ordeals, have a Dwarf Axe and a White Spear, and say, well, I have a cane, and I can back row him even, so I would say David's probably going to consider this Kane. Also, another Runex on the way up ordeals. Runex is probably, I'd keep one around for mage killing there, but Runex is worth a lot of money.
Yeah, definitely. Good source of money there. And we do have that hook, so we can get to one of the gated shops for some good items. And yeah, he's pretty happy with that Kane with the equipment he has, and David does add him to the party.
Interesting that he ditches Palom here. Says no black magic, only berserkers here. Which, hey, I mean, you get the right set of equipment here, and it can totally work. But yeah, here comes there's the dwarf axe going into the white lance, and a couple pieces of armor. And that Kane's going to be a little hard to actually kill.
Yeah, very could be David was looking here at the boss hunts he has ahead of him. Both Val and Ogo, he's not particularly happy usually to be fighting with a heavy mage party with the black mage is not going to help a ton. So very well might be the bosses that he knows he has to deal with. Really likes this berserker party and knows he's at least able to equip some of them pretty well. And we're still hoping to find maybe a holy sword there for his soon-to-be paladin.
Yeah, speaking of things I kind of really like to see here, that adamant rock, the supersmith is really random here. I mean, you get something that's not even for your party. Meanwhile, it's apparently a comedy club in the paladin room as Mr. Ha 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 himself is holding court inside here.
Yep.
But anyway, I was about to say that adamant rock here. We have a lot of characters in this party between both of them that would super benefit off of one of many different supersmiths, whether it be even a Peggy stick's great for Kane there. I mean, obviously they can't all be like Lightbringers or Abel's Lances, but again, any of the edge weapons is a great hit except for the scrap metal. Heck, I mean, David's even rocking a heroin robe on that Rosa there, so like even a Perseus bow or arrows.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of good hits there from the Supersmith. So if we do stumble onto that Legend Sword and are able to complete that Smith, it'll be interesting to see if our runners go ahead and value pick that up. As well as I think a lot of that will depend on what else that they stumbled on by that point in time. But wow, Ordeals just loaded here on bosses. 3 boss fights to take on Ordeals, 3 required bosses. I imagine both our runners are really happy that they have decided to not fade this location.
We haven't faded this location. Not so happy when it's like, okay, we're 14 minutes in. We found 3 of our bosses, or 4 of our bosses actually, and it's one of those things where it's like, how fast am I really hitting go mode here? I mean, hey, we get a spicy Baron in, and even Twin Harp, the small possibility of Crystal Overworld still looms.
Yeah, very well could happen here. So, and
Yep.
definitely that could put anyone into a panic mode where you're like, oh wait, I can already go to the end here. I can't take on Zerumus yet though, but oh, what do I do now? So,
Yeah, I'm actually liking David's party a little bit better for that here. Berserkers tend to get there at a little bit lower level. The one thing, I mean, usually there are sirens on the underground, but at this point, if I see 4 bosses really early like this, my mind is going towards, okay, this could be grind and go real quick. If I don't hit an easy grind, what are my options here? What if we hit pass immediately on the bottom to go along with the rest of our bosses here? Do we try a few doors? Do we? I'm not even gonna say the clapper word. Oh wait, I just did.
yeah, the nice thing is we do have likely quite a few good options here. I mean, with the pass means okay, sure, we're not going to giant, so no D machine, but sirens might be for sale. We have edge. Can we just steal some sirens?
We do have edge, and we could totally steal some sirens, and I totally glossed over that, and that is totally viable. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. You'd like to buy them. It's definitely faster to do that. But if they happen to not be for sale at the shop locations, or it's even possible for them to not be for sale at all, that's an alternative to get them.
So Duncan does claim the pan doesn't go to the public treasury here. It, like I said, is down a little bit of equipment here, not a whole lot. But here we are. Duncan says,
Nice.
I haven't even checked Baron in here, but we've got a Paladin Cecil. Let's go check a harp. Apparently,
Yeah, definitely interesting. I mean, I'm happy to see this play. I always like to hear some music. It definitely is a bit of a harder location with that Paladin still only being at level 1. I don't believe he took a fight on his way down from Ordeals, so not going to be a ton of power from him, but Edge is high level for this part of the game, so hopefully he can carry us through. Not too mean of a boss at this location.
Yeah, very interesting, honestly. Heading down this way, um, I would consider it more had I had less bosses down. With 4 bosses already off the table, again, Tella is around, and
Oh, yep.
especially if you're thinking D-Money, you really don't want to be thinking about the Darkness Crystal. Although with a party like this, I kind of question D-Money in my head, because, I mean, unless you're, like, planning to fish that Palom, exactly that Palom out of there, there's really nobody that needs the gigantic slingshot Tanuka as you see from your Rydias, your Forums, or even your Yongs there, where you're just, slinging him up to I punch everything into dust levels.
Yep, that's true. Although, if you do get that Darkness Crystal early, even if you don't need that power to get through the seed, just unlocking all of that early could pay off, and that now you're able to get through whatever is left of the seed that much faster. Now, if the bosses do happen to keep coming at the same pace they have been coming, maybe that doesn't pay off. But, this is a boss hunt. There's a lot of variance in this. It could take a long time to find the rest of those bosses, and having those levels to get through everything quickly could pay off.
Yeah, meanwhile, I guess we get to rest our
Oh,
talking for a little bit as DJ Spoony B is going to be taking over here, and yeah, we just get to take a break early today.
seems that way. Everyone enjoy.
So effective damage to that rune axe is huge. There's even a level 1. Oh man, Baron in here, taking my eyes off that a while. There's a Mirasame in the Baron Inn.
Definitely happy to see that with the edge in your party. Really good roll there. But yeah, very nicely done there by bigdunka. Both. Okay, there's that darkness crystal you were referring to might be looming.
Oh, wow.
Is indeed here. So that is big. That does open up a lot for Dunka. He can go ahead head to the underground if he wants, but he does have the option now of triggering a D machine run if he'd like and just get all the power he'll need for the rest of the seed.
Yeah, that is a huge thing. And I admit, if I'm in David's shoes, I'm in trouble here because I am going to fade that thing as far as I can here.
Yeah, definitely. It's an easy choice too, as I think a lot of people have noted. The Twin Harp check is a pretty long check, so there's a lot of times people are not willing to do it unless it's kind of one of the only things they have left to do. But yeah, getting that Darkness Crystal is really big. So
And
yeah,
we have the Odin only shop there in the past shop there.
although Underground is looking quite appealing now for David there, having picked up also the Tower Key. So having both the Pan and the Tower Key means getting to the Underground is going to have a lot of checks available to him. So if all the bosses do happen to be here on the Blue Planet, David has a lot of key item checks that might lead to that pass he would need to get his Zerumbus access.
Oh yeah, the good news is both of them came up at least pretty big now. Dunka is going to head over and not go to Baron. Oh, going straight to summoning that whale.
Time to launch the big whale here. So very could be he's playing immediately to go ahead and make use of that. This whale cutscene is also kind of nice in that it can just buy you a little bit of extra time to plan out what you want to do. As in, well, I'm probably going to watch this cutscene at some point in time. What do I really want to do? Do I want to do Baron Inn? Do I want to do the Underground? Do I want to follow the Lunar Whale somewhere? Go ahead and take this cutscene to figure that out.
Yep, David is going back to pick up that Luge here in the waterfall. Don't blame him. Now is probably the time with the extra party power that David has found here. Shouldn't be a problem. Again, though, Dunka's heading up here, and I'm wondering, I mean, does have the Tella. I wonder what we have in terms of ethers, if you're looking for that. I actually did see an hourglass in Dunka's inventory. So, hear me out here. Something. Oh no, we're going up in the Tower of Wishes here. So, we're fetching. I believe we're probably fetching Yong and Palom here, if I had to guess. Oh wait, we already have Palom. We're fetching Yong and ditching Palom here.
All right. So,
Monk is getting the slingshot here. We are going to punch things.
very nice. So yeah, Young not having been in the party is likely at a nice low level and thus accessible here for that slingshot, and he'll be able to get a lot of experience and doesn't need maybe quite as much as, say, a Black Mage to turn fully on here. He can be very good even with just a good chunk of experience and enough to bring your other melee fighters into being into a good power level as well. Although Big Duncan does want to go ahead and do Baron Inn first here, so flies the Lunar Whale over there. Always like to see that.
I'd say either that or wants to find some ethers here. I was about to say if I want to be like super cheeky about things. Oh, I see what Dunk is doing. Dunk is setting it up here. Okay, yeah, doing the Baron manipulation. So this is definitely a D machine play. So here's the thing here. I do see David here. Meanwhile, while this is being set up, is parking right outside Evelyn Castle here. Does have that paladin, want some loot here. So the question is, what gets us moving faster here? A D money to Young, or if David is able to, pull a crystal chainsaw here out of Evelyn Castle here?
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance of finding a really good weapon here for our paladin, but not a guarantee. So there's definitely, I guess, the variance here. And Big Duncan knows he's going to get the power after he finishes with this. But yeah, if David does hit that, yeah, how much faster is that? He won't have to spend nearly as much time, likely, but still needs to get some amount of levels from some other source.
We put you in the correct slot and everything. You got to land that stone, friend.
Even with the additional accuracy being in the middle slot, stone just doesn't have a great hit rate. So.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna pass up any kind of time to call Tella out on his stuff.
So we did see Big Duncan go ahead and do the Baron manipulation. So there's multiple ways to go ahead and get the machine grind set up. One of the ones is there's a nice chart available to basically take some fights outside of Baron and basically make it so your very next battle in a different rooms inside of the giant will be your deep machine fight. We've also seen other runners take advantage of the fact you can run from battles here. You can just head straight into the giant and use where you find your encounters on the giant to basically determine where you're going to run into here. D
Yep.
machine grind.
Yeah, the first one a was not a crystal sword, but it was a power shirt. Power shirts go well with ninja swords. They go well with crystal swords. They go well with Excaliburs. Heck, they even go well with white spears.
Yeah, if you're planning to run that Circuit Party, you're happy for every single power shirt you can get your hands on.
Oh no, we're not taking. Yeah, that was definitely a power shirt there. Did see that one go through.
And there we see bigdunka looking like he has the right fight. We see Searchers and Beamer, so promising.
Yeah, this stalemate and skull fight is not friendly here. Density Fire 2 go out, so this flame should end the skulls here and make this a little more palatable. Kane is up in the air and does get there, so hey, even Tella got to stay face down. Everything you'd want out of that fight here. And we do come
Wow.
up with, and there's the money right there. We've got ourselves a crystal sword.
That was everything we wanted to get out of that fight. Yep, everything David's done. He found what he needed to. That's a crystal sword with a power shirt. Well, you can hit real hard with those.
Oh yeah, we've got crystal sword, we got power shirt, we've got a couple glass hats actually, which is great for our front row people here. Again, crystal sword, power shirt, and even backup white spear and Mira edge. If you're David, do you not loot any more chests that aren't the rat tail chests and maybe the ribbon chests left in the seed? Is it time to just stop looting?
Yeah, I feel like that could be the case. You might want to check some shops still. You still need to buy things. So I think this is maybe how much money do you have? Because you probably still want to buy some sirens and maybe some Bacchus wines if you can find them. So if you have enough money to buy those already, you might be good. But yeah, gear-wise, that's enough power.
Oh yeah, that's more than enough power there. Again, money, yeah, again, getting some sirens here, getting some of the other stuff. Again, rune axes are worth a ton. I think the sword David had Kane, because that white spear is still sitting in his may have a rune axe for
he has a crystal sword. Does he have to really worry about what Kane is wielding?
Hey, everybody likes a supporting cast here and there.
And so we do get our two good items here, Hourglass and Coffins. Not the Sirens we're probably likely really want to find to finish off our grinding, but definitely really helpful depending on which boss fights we run into. Any of those that happen to not have the boss bit enabled, Hourglass and Coffins let you make very quick work of them.
Oh yeah, I'm happy to see either one of those. And I mean, technically, Dakar, we went over this. Sirens are available. They just might not be in shops. But our resident ninja can always just 5-finger discount those things. Oh hey, a life stick, for when we want to possibly move Rosa over to White Magery there. That's, there we go.
Yeah, or at the very least you could throw that on and offset the all the magic loss you have from the Heroine Robe, so continue to get the defenses from it, but still get some okay casting.
There's a mom bomb there at, it's annoying, but again, with the power that is on David's party there, I'm thinking of Berserk Cecil and Edge here with everything they've got. I'm going to make the prediction right now, that bomb does not explode.
Yeah, that is a lot of power. It can be a little scary if it does explode, just the 6 bombs coming out that location, but if that does happen, we also do have the hourglasses now to fall back on. We just lock all those bombs down. But yeah, there's a lot of power on this team, so with a berserked up Crystal Sword power shirt, yeah, we're probably good.
Yeah, I'll also note, all that looting there, I saw David equip not 1, not 2, but 3 glass hats. So even the punchiness of this next spot is going to be severely lessened here, because again, that is a ton of defense here. And heck, I even saw one more glass hat in his inventory.
Oh, it's going to keep back on. On bigdunka's side, we're going through the D-Machine grind, and importantly, taking advantage of the life glitch, and bigdunka was even able to hit the double life glitch, so if you can queue it up to hit 2 life potions going off at the same time, that's actually worth 3 D-Machine kills as opposed to normal 2 from just throwing out 1 life potion.
So I guess the other question here is, after Dunka's D-Machine, though, Dunka has been fading a ton of loot here. does Dunka go into Evelyn and get that crystal sword, or I think Cecil's best option right now for Dunka is probably a Runex?
Yeah, that's definitely a tough call because you do know Evelyn Castle can have really good gear, but your Yong's hitting really hard at this point, so you're just happy enough with that as your power to get through the seed. I can see either call, both make a lot of sense, and I think there's be just a lot of preference on Big Dunka's side on does he want more power or to take the risk for more power or just feel comfortable with what he has.
Oh, hey, bosses who do not want to see a crystal sword, Exhibit A.
If you already were not going to be hitting enough, let's go ahead and hit for just even more there for a 7k swing. Very nice.
Change. Me like extremely poor life choices.
On Big Dunka's side, it also could depend on just how many D machines he's willing to take on here. He might just go ahead and get the excessive levels here so he doesn't have to worry about finding good gear. As I've been keeping count, but this seems like quite a few D machines are going down.
Yeah, I have been paying attention to the other side a little bit much, so I kind of appreciate it. You keep a little bit of eye on that there. I mean, we'll probably see once we see the graphic of how much XP comes through here. But anyway, we're already through to that Mom Bomb, so David is going to be likely underground with some very good time here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with that access to the power he has there, that Crystal Sword does mean he will make good work. And just as predicted, a berserked up Crystal Sword wielding Paladin is going to start dishing out a ton of damage in this fight.
Yep, is going to berserk the other members here as well. Again, I know even Kane didn't have that glass hat, but Rosa did. She took a whole 16 from that Mom Bomb. And Cecil already here just dishing out about 3,000 damage worth of pain already, and this isn't even his final form.
Definitely just, yeah, at even low levels, seeing this amount of power, yeah, you have to be feeling good. So yeah, once you can go unlock those sirens and just get a few levels on him, wow, he's going to just be able to take on any boss you run into for the rest of the seed.
Oh, now going towards 4,000 here. Edge and Kane are helping. What a nice guy. Mom Bomb even knocks down Tella for us, keeping our anchor situation exactly where it is here. So, yeah, there
not only
not only does he not explode,
yep.
I see where you're going with that. He didn't even get to show his big form there. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That is just a ton of power on David's side. People always say, you know, Crystal Sword going burr, and especially with that power shirt, you can really just see it doing work.
So, anyway, as we're walking in here, gonna grab all these crystals. Oh, no, Pitfall, it's like Pitfall, like 4,000 something, Runner's 0 at this point. Man, we really should do something about that Pitfall at this point.
Yep, so Pitfall there at 34 minutes, so definitely making good time here underground for David, and taking out a lot of locations on the overroll before doing so, and spotting the Dark Imps, it looks like, at the top of the tower.
Yeah, those are extremely free Dark Imps, especially the fact that we have Coffins and Hourglasses there. David didn't pick up a whole lot of Hourglasses. Though, to be fair, they really kind of don't matter. The question is, you do have that tower key. If you're David, do you just about face straight into the tower here, given that it's free and, 2 key items?
Yeah, it definitely seems appealing. You are right here. You could just immediately land. Though that pan has a lot of key items behind it too, so that's another appealing check. And Dwarf Castle is also a good check. One, you have your shopping here. You might find your sirens or your bucket swines, which you'd be really happy to see. Two, we were talking about wanting experience. You actually get a fair amount of experience if you fight these bosses here. And hey, this is a boss hunt seed, so we're looking for some more bosses.
True enough, we do have, again, that's pretty good experience here. You're looking about, right around about 41k, roughly. Nice hats on sale there. Those ninja hats are kind of nice. We're still killing dragons over there. I wonder exactly how swole Dunka's party is going to be here.
This will be power overwhelming levels for Dunka, for sure. He's taking on a lot of deep machines here.
Only kamikazes in the dwarf item shop there, so that's kind of a donk too. But here we are. We do have that. We do have a warpcaster in Tella, so hey, that's nice. And we do have some orbs, but again, this party plan queue does sound like it here. Dunka is throwing up the week here. Is going to be knocking over that Tella to keep his anchor status good. Gonna take a swing, and let's see how much XP we just got. 642,000 is what I just saw. Yang is in slingshot position. Yeah, slingshot position. So let's just make that a cool nearly 1.3 million XP on that Yang here. 45 levels. Yang is now level 55.
Yeah, not bad. That's he'll probably be able to punch pretty hard at that level. So, you know, if you don't have that crystal sword in hand, just get a ton of levels on your punch mage and get your power that way.
Oh yeah, so Dunka's gonna walk up here to the element slot while we do have and that's Asura, and honestly, I think I might take that fight and see what's behind it, because I know I saw Dunka's Cecil swinging that rune axe. Yeah, sure, it's 65k, but I mean, you get a wall on Asura, Berserk Cecil's probably going to end that in 6 to 7 hits.
Yep, definitely could get through there quickly. Could be on bigdunka's mind, though. He did spend a lot of time doing that grind, so maybe doesn't want to have to commit time to maybe a Zonk if there's nothing behind that Asura. And he does have access to a lot of other boss locations. The entirety of the moon is definitely doable now for bigdunka with all this experience and Darkness Crystal in hand. And so a lot of boss locations there, or the entire underground access, which he'll be able to get through these locations very quickly.
Meanwhile, Dwarf 2 exceedingly free as we see King Queen Evelyn here. Dunka is driving the whale back to Mysidia to get his original airship back. Gonna take a nap to bring everybody to full here. The question is, what does Dunka do here in terms of, does he go looking for more gear, or does he say, I don't need gear, I have 8 billion XP?
Yeah, definitely interesting to see that decision. And all of them make sense, so. David, yeah, as you said, free fight in Dwarf Castle too, so David easily through that, and we'll get to see our 2 key items here, as we do have the Work Glitch enabled, and then one for just doing Dwarf Castle.
Dunka is going back to Waterfall, is going to be happily surprised here by a required Dr. Luge that is not really long for this world with this party that ran into him here, doing apparently RBO here. Although I'm going to go into conniptions here a little bit. That Yang is in the back row.
Still should be able to take on this location, even with him in the back row, and both going to be bigdunka's reminder to move him up to the front row.
Hey, would you like some more gear? Because
Yeah.
that's what King Gyat just gave us.
I missed that. What do we have in hand?
King Gyat had a party rock, so we've got an Earth Crystal.
All right.
Now, again, mind you, if I'm David, I don't care. I already have all the gear. But, again, that's a couple more bosses available there. So, again, we could probably raid that treasury. But, yeah, Earth Crystal, as Dakar says, might actually pull David to say, hey, let's just go do the Past World Tour here, as
Yep.
David is going for a little bit more shopping here. Going to Tamra. Get this, again, as you're saying, Sirens and Bacchus are our huge ticket items that we are looking for right now. And Tamra has neither of them, unfortunately.
Yeah. Again, not guaranteed being the seed, but us fast check to make, so might as well do that and see if you can get well rewarded for it. And not here, but one more location we at least know they aren't, so not just sitting there in the back of your mind. But yeah, there's a lot waiting here for David if he is interested to head back to the overworld, because before even going up to follow up on the Earth Crystal, which is also right near that Twin Harp, the pan turn in, and then he'd go ahead and get some more key items from Tabul while he's up in that area.
Yep, Dunka really didn't want to get his poison walk there. Has spent the time to cast heal 5 times here. Is dropping off the hovercraft, is parking pretty close to Evelyn Castle there, and is walking inside. Right. Okay, so Dunka is going to, at the very least, come up with gear parity here. Oh, Baron key in the Feymarch freebie. All these boss slots are kind of falling into place here. Now the question is, I do not recall already. Oh no, it was a turtle. That's right. It was a turtle handing over our starting key item.
So, one of the boss locations in Baron Castle is not a required one, but there's 2 others in there, so it definitely is still a valuable location to go visit. Again, we're just kind of getting all set up here to maybe do a nice little overworld check. You go turn in that pan, get all those done. You now have taken all the damage from all your damage tiles. You go into the Twin Harp, you exit out, you do Tower of Zot, and then you're sent over to Baron. All right.
Oh, and that is David wants and no part whatsoever of that blarg. And is oh no, David
actually,
totally wants a part of that blarg
yep.
there, as that's going straight to Wyvern Standard Time here.
Yep.
Battle Speed 6 coming out here, so yeah, not hard to see what David's going for here.
Yep. Went ahead, peeked the boss, saw who it was, knew he wasn't set up at that point for it, so a quick reset out, changing the battle's speed down here to 6 to be able to throw up all his Star Veils here, and take on this location. Which looks like maybe David just was great. I came to the Fey March. I never want to come back. Let's just take out everything down here just in our one trip, and we're good.
Yeah, again, that part of that is probably brought on by I don't have any. I don't have the Darkness Crystal here. 3 people get their. And honestly, I'm not even mad that Cecil takes that Mega Nuke here, because I probably want to start swinging with other people. I probably want to throw a Life Pod on Cecil. And honestly, what I really want to do... Oh, a free power shirt is in Evelyn as well, apparently. So 2 power shirts there. But since Cecil doesn't have that wall on him, he is a totally viable Berserk target here. So if Wyvern at least is nice enough here and keeps those nukes going to the bottom there. And unfortunately, it looks like it just went off of Rose's turn there. So... just swung with her there. Just wants to keep those attacks rolling here. But again, if I could get a Berserk onto that Crystal Sword wielding Cecil, I feel a whole lot better about this fight.
Yeah, although you do know that just immediately paints a target on him to get nuked here by Wyvern. But yeah,
but if I get a couple swings on it, I'm yeah, sure, it's a target, but hey,
you'll get some damage out there.
This party is well fast enough to deal with anything that Wyvern is dishing out here at this point.
We do see bigdunka here with the high levels of power he has, able to quickly get through some of these locations, although does have to eat the charm here in the Lamia fight.
Does take that nuke to Cecil's face anyway here.
Wyvern knows who the threat is.
I mean, it's probably the person who's been stabbing with that Crystal Sword for a couple thousand damage every time he takes a turn here. Did take a little bit of time to get that Rosa, and it's going to pay for it a little bit as Wyvern is snipping the plan out here.
Yeah, Wyvern there, unfortunately, does seem to have good targeting here with this nukes, picking up first that powerful Cecil, and then going for the life-tossing Rosa. Yeah, this...
I'm not liking this here.
Yeah, it's always scary when you're down to just that one character. So David seeing it, it's not looking good, and goes and takes his reset.
Yeah, and then just says, "Okay, I'm done. We gave it a shot." And to be fair, I don't even mind jumping out of here now. Mind you, yes, that is because I know where darkness is. But I've got a pan, I've got a tower key, I've got a whole bunch of stuff that. I've got a whole bunch of stuff it could be, so I don't have that. As Duncan does find the Crystal Sword in Baron here, is loading Rosa up with the Artie. So again, Duncan is getting a lot closer to gear parity with David here. So we did say David was underground at about 35 minutes, roughly. A little short of 35 there, so... aside from the grind, David has probably what is going to be roughly about probably about 15-minute lead underground when all is said and done. So here comes the question here, as David is still looting out Lower Babel here. I don't know. Oh, you want to steal Sirens? Never mind. We didn't find Sirens. So David wants his grind here. That's big here because David wants to actually do that, and that is his grind here. Unfortunately, that is going to give some time back to bigdunka here, who again already has the grind done.
Yeah, exactly. So unfortunately, with the Sirens not being for sale, the alternate way to gain them here is just steal them, but definitely is slower, especially if you want a lot. If this is the only way you're planning to grind, and depending, again, since we don't have the Darkness Crystal, we don't have, say, the higher XP locations available to us, so you need fewer Sirens, things like doing Gold Dragons. So you might be looking at stealing a lot of Sirens here, and that does take some time.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd steal a whole lot of them, again, given this party here. probably no more than I'd say 10 at the most here.
Yep.
Again, this party doesn't need that many sirens, especially with the massive gear we have here. Now, I might also want to sit here as David does have 7 key items in his pocket, both tower checks, harp, earth crystal, and pan all available. So a ton of blue planet checks here for 3 key items.
And David here, doing real well on stealing those sirens. You can miss that. You might not believe that from seeing this stream here, but just hitting all of his sneaks here, grabbing just a handful of sirens, and you're right, with all those key item checks and those ones not being terribly hard, would seem really appealing to at least take all of them on before you commit to doing at least all of your grind. Maybe pop 1 or 2 sirens just to get a handful of levels to make things a little faster, but for at least getting up to your end game levels, see if you hit that 10 key items first.
And I'm not sure that Lit 3 is going to do it here. These alerts have a ton of magic defense here.
And unfortunately, not quite enough damage, so we will have to get at least 1 summon out.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, I would have thought, like, again, a Thunderclaw Edge or just Cecil with Crystal Sword is definitely up to the task of just dealing with that.
But yeah, I mean, why go ahead and get those sirens when you can just grind the Nagas?
Oh, hey, do you want a dart? Because we got a dart.
All right, I'll take that.
I mean, I'm really happy if I get that, you know, come like Ogo Pogo and Rose's busy, like Cure Foring and, you know, things like that. Yeah, again, high-powered darts like that, especially for that, like Demus, something you just want to have a ton of damage out as fast as possible here. Again, I'm not mad at getting that Excal here, as we do have Calamari for lunch here in the Super Cannon room.
Yep, no need to worry about lowering down those tentacles there. Such low HP, we just end the fight in 1 hit. But yeah, definitely that, you know, a really powerful dart can be good in a handful of locations, especially spots where berserking just happens to not work as well, so you need those alternate sources of damage. Yeah, being able to just dart out an Excal for multiple thousands points of damage, we like having that.
The question is why, if you equip it, if you have nothing else. The Fire Shield it is some defense, however, like the Fire and Ice gear here do confer, I believe, actually, I believe it is a actual fire weakness. I believe it halts ice here. Translated for goodness game, I promise. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that is the case here, where the Fire and Ice equipment do confer weaknesses as well as giving that. So sometimes I'm leery about putting on a piece of Fire or Ice gear, just because I'm going to be weak to a different element here, and I mean, I hate weaknesses. Just kind of bite you in the worst times there. I mean, I know, like, especially like, you know, back in the day we had adamant armor. Back in that day, as I shake my old man cave here. Yeah, unequipping that adamant armor would give you just weaknesses to all of that. So it's just one of those things people didn't like. Yes, I'm aware. There's not that many bosses and enemies out there that will exploit those weaknesses, but when they do, when Ruby comes knocking with a fire, you know, with a glare, you kind of hate it there.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of kind of that trade-off of how much power is it getting you versus the fact that weakness might end up making you lose a fight you wouldn't otherwise. Is it worth putting it on? Also, you just sell it for money, and who doesn't like some extra money?
Now, shields are usually pretty low on the the shields are pretty much the lowest in terms of how much they're worth here, as we do get a crystal ring. So more good gear on David's side, but not a key item we were really hoping to. Glare does carry fire on it, yes. It does more use Ruby's attack stat as well, but yes, Glare does carry a fire element along with it.
So, well, Top of Tower didn't have anything valuable. Well, doesn't have progression. That Crystal Ring is valuable. David still has the tower. You know, he did the Super Cannon room on the way up, so he's going to get another key item check here on the way out of tower. So, still potential value waiting for him.
Yeah, meanwhile, Duncan going straight to the Baymarch says, "I have all these levels. Let's use them." And it is going to see that Wyvern, is going to see that Leviathan. Here's a again, getting the Baron key down here, so that's nice. The question does kind of come to, does Duncan take either one of those fights with neither being required?
Yeah, definitely a interesting choice to make. With the Darkness Crystal already in hand, that might be enough incentive for Big Dunka to, and especially just picking out the Baron key, which is another key item to give 2 boss checks, might not be that interested in picking up more key items. Might want to just start checking for boss locations.
Yep, meanwhile we get we've got a Forge on hand here as Tower Key pays out with a Legend Sword. Again, that's going to be a little interesting to see if David goes for that. Might just be prepping Pan here. Duncan sees that Blarg and says, nah, I'm good.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
is noping right out.
Did have to check it as it was a Sparkle, and we are looking for at least a Sparkle, but seeing it's just the Wyvern. Yeah, Big Dunka's done here, so it does seem like he's predominantly interested in just checking more boss locations.
So David is a free couple key items here. Duncan is going to retrace David's steps over here to Dwarf. Just kind of slowly, maybe not so slowly, just cutting into that lead here as the Sylphs hand over some genuine Hanzo steel.
Definitely nice to have that in hand with your edge in the party.
Yeah, so again, part of me really wants to see this Forge, but the runner in me is saying we don't need it. We have weapons at home, and unfortunately, unlike the meme, the weapons we have at home are really good.
That very well might have been on David's mind just until he was handed that Mazamune and went, you know what? No, I'm pretty well equipped now.
Yep, so we're just gonna go check on Sheila. Again, David still doesn't know, but the thing is, Fabul is kind of fairly close to the Twin Harp checks and otherwise here, as Cecil does say goodbye to his glass hat. Apparently Kane's going to pick that up here. Back row glass hat, that's kind of silly, honestly.
You really don't want to get knocked down by physical attacks.
Really, yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, not only being close to the Twin Harp check, with the Earth Crystal also in hand, has multiple reasons for wanting to be in that area. So we'll have to see. But it could also be, depending on what he's handed right here, might send David off in another direction.
As long as Sheila hands over at least one key item here, we do know we're guaranteed 10 on the Darkness Crystal on the Twin Heart check. But we do get Artie Arrows and a Luca key, so
There is one.
Yeah,
as well as it is another boss check, so might be something interested, but David does have all of these things to do on the overworld,
So the interesting thing is that Luca Key does put us into no mode technically here. So we do know David has everything other than the Darkness Crystal. As soon as David picks up that Darkness Crystal, he has access to every boss in the game except the one behind package. So he can start base checking everything.
Yep. Does not need any more key items. We do see him dipping into...
Oh no, he's going to go Earth Crystal into Baron here. He's saying, I am fading this. Now, this could be interesting here. So we do know David is going up Zot. Duncan is about to pick up his Earth Crystal out of Dwarf here. And I do believe Luca was a Zonk partially. I can't remember. Actually, no, I can't remember off the top of my head now. No, actually, Tower Key, I believe, is well down here. So the question is, it's probably not great for him as Argo. Okay, yeah. So the only thing that really pays off David here is, hey, if Duncan gets this Earth Crystal, again, there's just way too many checks here on the blue planet. I could not see jumping up to the moon in Duncan's shoes here.
Yeah.
Even with all that power.
Yeah, with so many bosses to do there, it does seem very appealing. Although, with David choosing to fade Twin Harp at this point, likely will keep fading it. And so might end up doing the full clear here. And so it just really depends on if there are bosses in these blue planet locations. Will that allow him to more or less continue to maintain this lead, where Big Dunka could at some point decide to pull the trigger to head off to the moon. Potentially a sealed cave is another point of maybe divergence, where David will be willing to go ahead and just check only the boss there, where Big Dunka already having the darkness in hand is willing to go to the moon.
Oh, but look at this. We've got value at Zot 1. Here's Valveless.
That's big. Yeah, like, finishing this off for David is 2 bosses left. That's really, I think, for a lot of runners, kind of that I really just need to go into base check mode. I'm very close here to getting all of my bosses. For Big Dunka, much more interesting who has the Darkness Crystal in hand. But yeah, you definitely feel close once you're at 5 out of 7.
Yeah, Dunka I could really see doing like Earth into Baron here, with especially with that gone here. Is picking up the other airship. Oh yeah, this is definitely not going to risk things by the parking authority here, as David is going to take out this Val, and Dunka is going to be right behind him actually here. So while David is up a few checks here, Dunka is making the correct decisions here after that D machine grind. Down goes Val, and
Yep.
Dunka's right on his heels.
Yeah, Duncan not having that tower key in hand chose, I guess, not to do the tower there. Which tower key was that from the Baron Inn?
Yeah, tower keys from Baron Inn. Dunka
Yes.
does not have it. Dunka has not been to Baron Inn yet.
Yeah. Now, doing tower assault will send him right outside of Baron, so he'll likely want to do it once he's in there and clearing out all of Baron. But this is lining up really nicely for him, as we do know we're going to find Val right up here.
Yeah, the question is, does Dunka feel... I mean, Dunka is definitely not in base check mode. Is missing both Tower, Luca, and the package. May just be, again, like I said, this is very likely a Zot into Baron play. So these two are probably going to be in lockstep here. Again, this isn't really, with those crystal swords, all those levels, I mean, are nice, but they aren't going to be...
That's another required boss right here.
Tower of value here. Earth Crystal paying off huge. And now if I have Dunka, I have questions that might be answered on the moon. I could see Dunka at 6 out of 7, taking that whale up.
I think a really big question will be, what's the reward here? If you're maybe given the pass, so you have a fast way to Zeromus, maybe you're willing to finish out Baron, just in case your boss is there. But yeah, if you don't get the pass, yeah, maybe go up to the moon there, since you're going to have to be doing that walk anyway, and see if you can find your last boss in that location.
I would be sorely tempted to, yes.
Yeah, especially here, I've 5 out of 7 is where you're very close to wanting to pull that trigger. 6 out of 7, yeah, Moon starts looking really, really appealing, especially with no pass in hand.
Yeah, again, Dunka doesn't know that he is dodging a lot of, I mean, at least in terms of Tower and, actually, that's Tower and that's actually about it. Oh, Baron Inn there. Baron Inn has a Tower key, so Dunka fades that, which is kind of nuts, honestly.
But we did get the Magma key here. Yeah.
Nobody saw that, right?
So, well, we do have underground access at 59 minutes. So.
We can apparently, yes, we can get underground now.
But definitely, yeah, David definitely is looking for that way to. He was really hoping to see his Darkness Crystal at this point. It's all right, though. He does have Baron to follow up on, which we know isn't going to be giving him Darkness, but there is still a very good chance for him here. If we find the last boss and that pass, that would work really well for David, and let him take advantage of the current lead he has over Big Dunka.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple, I mean, we do have, we're still missing eyes on Giant 2, we're missing eyes on the package, we're missing eyes on Luca. I mean, there's still a decent amount of things here which will, unfortunately, again, you hate to chalk this up to randomness here, but I mean, this is a randomizer here.
It does happen.
There are worlds where none of those bosses are on a completely haunted moon here.
Yeah, definitely very possible. So I think this big decision point come right now for Big Dunka as he comes out here of Zot of where to next. Is it into Baron or is it going to the moon? This could very easily decide the race.
It's neither. He's going underground. He's got a magma key.
Oh, right. I mean, gotta use that underground access now that you have it.
All right, David going straight to the altar underground here.
Feels like he has sufficient power to take on this location. Knows he needs another boss. Knows he still needs some more key item checks here, as still missing that darkness. So let's go ahead and get that done in, a little tighter routing, if a little more risky.
All right. Oh, Stunk is going to the Baron Inn as we do see an evil wall here, and I forgot that yes, David is going to take this. If just again the fact that no darkness crystal in hand yet, so David is still in darkness mode here. Not knowing that and that's kind of the biggest story of the seed here for anybody just jumping in, is that bigdunka did find the darkness crystal behind that twin harp, and did go do a D machine grind off it here. And again, that's just kind of the story of when does David go to the twin harp.
And bigdunka goes in and does one check in Baron. He'll go ahead and do a face check of Baron 1. Oh, he did clear through the Dark Knight, so I guess did he see that second boss and was happy at that point?
David, so Dunka is, wow, that's
Yeah.
very impressive here. Gonna turn in that pan here, which I get there.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That's interesting here. Is gonna check out the. Now this, I did not know he faded so much of the overworld here, or I did, but I just might have forgot it.
A lot happened in the past hour.
A lot definitely has happened here.
Yeah, totally in face check mode here for bigdunka. Sees that plague. Nope, I don't need to know which key item he's holding. I just need to know who this was. Reset out. Looks like Moon is the next. So I very much like this plays here by bigdunka. Was parked right outside of Baron after finishing Zot and knew he could get 2 boss checks very fast. And seeing those not hitting, didn't value walking all the way through the sewer to get some more boss checks. So resets out, checks another quick boss, and now off to the Moon.
Yeah, the only way this really stings Dunka is if he finds absolutely Bupkis here on the Moon.
Yep. Which, as you kind of noted from the open locations, that is possible. It can happen.
Yeah, we've seen every Moon boss except for Plague and Ogo, or not Plague, but Pale Dim and Ogopogo. So any Lunar Sparkle is a 50-50. If we see a K value, is a 50-50 objective now at this point.
David, fortunately finding Baron just having Baigen up here on the throne, so not having the bosses he's looking for.
Yeah, not good news there. And oh no, that's a 50-50 go mode for Dunka there, as we do see the Ruby Sprite. We have not seen elements, so this is not definitely go mode yet here. And is going to Ice Clock here just in case. Do we have Ruby or do we have elements here? We've got... Oh, it's go mode. We've got value in Cave Bahamut, everybody. Imagine that.
That's why we call it cave value. Always value there.
Yep, so that is huge for Dunka here. Has the grind, has the go mode. Oh man, that's...
already sitting on the Moon too, where he wants to be.
Imagine if this drops the pass, just for comedic effect.
I mean, you take it if that's what it gives you. Yeah, go ahead and use the pass.
Yep, and as we see Yang, it took a sec for him to get going here, but do you like doing damage cap with Yang? Because Yang is here to do the damage cap.
Always feels nice when those quad 9s come out.
And in the Baron trash can, we have but a package. Wow. So all the rabbit holes, at least. Well, they might not be rabbit holes. They could be something else here. But again, and now David is flying away, is headed to... Oh, man. Oh, no, David's going to do a little bit of grind, but I would assume David is probably on his way to Luca after this.
Could be Feymarch is also on his plan, so go ahead and get these levels so he feels more powerful and take on the Feymarch and look for his key items there. I mean, at this point, having the Twin Harp in hand and having decided to fade it for so long, I can see very much the feeling of wanting to just keep fading it.
Oh, look, a vanilla reward in...
As well as Chad is noting, since Work Glitch was done, there's a less incentive to undo Luca, because David is very much interested in key item checks still, because he does need to find some way to get to the Moon.
True. A boss is still a boss here, but again, just like huge pay dirt there. The Moon check for Dunka paying off in spades here, as Dunka is running into the LST and is just a Moon run here away from coming up to that Z fight here.
Yep, definitely, and likely bigdunka is kind of noted, got a ton of levels there from his D Machine grind, and then even went ahead and found some really, really powerful gear, so it's probably feeling pretty good about his odds here in this upcoming fight.
Yep, and for the one character he really didn't find the powerful gear for. I think actually Young might have got one of those power shirts now that I think about it, but yeah, this is gonna be a pretty standard hit Z until Z stops moving. Yeah, and again, Dunka's levels are such that I am really not afraid about this fight for him. And you did call it. David is heading into the Fey March.
Yeah, with those 10k items, he's able to get a good grind done pretty quickly here, and now has sufficient power that he feels like he can take on these Fey March locations. And again, it's kind of one of those things where if you've chosen to fade a location early on, you kind of just stick to that decision and just keep on fading it, because if your opponent did check it early, you know you're already behind, so you just have to hope it doesn't have value, which, you know, sometimes it won't, and so that works out great. Unfortunately, in this case, we do know that's where the Darkness Crystal ended up being, and so this likely will not work out well here for David.
Yep, does have Cure 4 on that Rosa now. More Berserk there. So I guess he has gained. Neither of us really found a curse ring, but Dunka has handled his Tella's agility a little bit better than David's here, and marching down here, hitting the Lunar Core, making that final walk, waving to all these Moon Altars he doesn't have to check.
Yeah. Nice. Another nice part about the Zerker party is your anchor situation doesn't even have to be as controlled as it does with mages, because a lot of the fighters actually do gain a decent amount of agility, so even with just a fairly slow anchor, like a mid-level Tella, you're probably going to be at RA1, and if not, at least RA2.
So Silkwebs before.
Yeah. Silkwebs. Solve any of your other problems.
Yep. So we do get the Leviathan fight here from David. I mean, yeah, it's just kind of a tale of two seeds here. You notice that Dunka is the one heading to Z, and you notice that David is the one with the very well lit up item tracker here. It's
I am seeing in chat though a few Z's coming up.
Z's, I mean, I am a little tired, but
I mean, that's fair.
It's not time to nap just yet here. No, we have over 580 Zeroma sprites here. We can't move Z. He's too big, too mean, too nasty, too big bangy here. So we have to let him, but we have to randomize him somehow, or else this really wouldn't be a randomizer. So we see some Zeus Gauntlets on Leviathan. With those Zeus Gauntlets there, whose butt are we going to kick? Preferably not with Zeus Gauntlets.
And Big Den here, going to quickly answer that question for us, and we have tonight.
Drum roll.
Oh wow, full leg. All right, that feels really appropriate given our Ruby was our final access here to our crystal.
Yeah, not only happy with round 1 here. Leg is back for round 2.
But yeah, with all that power bigdunka has, this fight's probably still going to go in his favor.
Oh my, that is a very fast big bang here.
Yeah,
no nerf on that, and wow, very fast and very high rolly here. Leg did not skip leg day, apparently,
no, that's quite scary, actually.
Now Dunka has to get a little bit back into wait, what just happened mode here.
Yeah, that was definitely very fast there into that big bang, and without the ability to nerf it, did a lot of damage, and unfortunately, like, even Edge with 2400 still got taken out.
Yeah, counter nuke coming out here. Young, best target for it. The 2600 damage just fine here. Why not the power punch? But man, Z is yeah, no Bacchus here. There might have been Bacchus on the moon. Bacchus was not checked for. Yep. And Z is not playing around with these damage rolls. Wow.
Yeah, so definitely is painful there without those Bacchus to get these Zerkers up and punching quickly, not really slowing down the queue, and I do believe bigdunka left this at battle speed 1. Does mean Zeromus is moving really fast and able to get a lot of actions out, as we're seeing here, and so bigdunka is having to eat a lot of damage.
Meanwhile, we do get an apple. I missed the reward for Leviathan, but our tracker is not updating, so I'm guessing we had nothing and nothing,
It was the Zeus
respectively
Gauntlet.
here. Yeah, the Zeus Gauntlet and an apple here, so Fade March in complete full effect here. We're probably going to see a virus actually coming out from Zeromus here very soon. Now, the good news is that between these power punches and otherwise here, and even that, we are still managing to do some decent damage against Zeromus here. David is going to give us our check into the Seal Cape boss, and oh no, that's Rosa with 8 hit points. Yeah, we need to get to, oh no, there's virus, so down goes Rosa here. And just to say, Zeromus is not free, even when you come in with a party like this here. Wow, that's a speedy Zeromus here for what looks to be a pretty. I mean, Tella has gained exactly 1 level here, so I'm kind of trying to figure out where all this jet is coming from here.
Yeah, it definitely does hurt not having the ability to clog up the queue there with the Zerkers. I think we're kind of talking about a standard Z fight, and I think a lot of times when you're thinking that, it is with having Bacchus Wine, so you can very quickly get your Zerkers zerked up and going. And at Battle Speed 1, without the ability to kind of get some control over the fight there, with the Zerkers slowing down the queue, yeah, you can see the pain that comes out this way.
I mean, this is how I used to fight Zeromus back when I was a kid and had no idea that the Berserk status existed.
I think that's how we all took on this game when we played it.
Yep, okay, so
good.
Did get
That's
a little bit
gonna
of time,
help a lot.
threw out a Berserk onto Cecil, which is, I mean, to be fair, Berserk on either one of these is fine. Yang is at a high enough level where he's not doing Crystal Sword damage, but he's still doing very good damage.
Yeah, that definitely is going to help a lot. And I could see here with bigdunka be interested. Just the one.
Luca has Ogopogo! Oh, wow. So, again, we do have that Crystal Sword Cecil berserked up here. Oh, Kane's gonna drop here, but, so here's the thing. If Zeromus here gives Dunka the business still, like, you know, like a nuke in the Big Bang on Cecil here that, we don't get to deal with, David is not out of this if, Zeromus does, get a little spicy here. Does throw that nuke here. Rosa's got a Cure 4 ready, so safe for now. Oh no, that Cure 4 was mistargeted, I guess?
Oh, must have been. Kind of see here the difference. Or yeah, being able to get that second Cure 4 off here safely brings him to safe HP levels. So.
Yeah, even a Wombo combo at this point would probably leave Yang standing here.
I'm sure bigdunka very happy. He decided to get all that experience while he was up on the Giant. 5,000 HP on Yang leaves him very safe in a lot of cases here in the C fight. So yeah, even those wombo combos, he'll be able to continue staying up.
Yeah, did lose that Berserk on Cecil there. Did have to re-Berserk and is going to here. Just did. Again, this is the point where you really don't want to see a Meteo here.
Yeah.
And that might have been the tip right here. Cecil swinging for everything.
He's swinging hard
here. We got a power punch coming up from Yang, and no, it's Cure 4. Everything's safe.
That's fine. Good now.
Yep.
As well as, thank goodness on Rosa there, with 2,200 HP is not the most. So definitely there were some dangers there, Big Bangs, to take her out in the 8 HP one.
Those Meteos would have killed everybody but Rosa. And nope, there's the flash.
There's the flash. We made it through.
GG bigdunka there. Got a little touchy there at the end, but any fight you could walk away from.
Well done there by bigdunka. Yeah, got a little scary, but yeah, well played by him to pull that through.
See if we can get him in for an interview here in just a moment.
It looks like, David seeing what happened there. It will take the forfeit there, which, I mean, does have the crystal in hand, but still doesn't know where his access to the moon is. Yeah, makes sense.
There we go, and this would be bigdunka here, just joining us in chat. GG, very well played.
Well, thank you, GG's.
I mean, the giant question in the room here is what definitely decided the seed was your immediate, hey, let's go check Twin Harp here, and it paying out in the Darkness Crystal.
Yeah, that's what I had heard. Yeah, no, it's one of those things. I actually kind of like checking the free item kind of late in my overworld checks, just in case either Earth Crystal pops or in this case Heart pops, so I can check everything in that area at once. And with an early edge, there's just no reason not to go there. It's usually pretty easy. So yeah, that really opened it up. Obviously, I was able to get my grind in, and it was kind of academic from there, except for the very end.
Yeah, that was kind of the thing there. Again, David went and did Evelyn Castle really fast, got that crystal sword, had about a 15-minute run in the underground on you. But again, that big looming fact there was no Darkness Crystal in hand. You had a lot of things, especially the face check at the end there. You had a few key items still missing, and Baron kind of undone, where you just as soon as Zot paid out in the double, was just that basically your whole, I'm gonna bet it all on the moon here.
Yeah, I mean, math was there. I knew that Kanaza was the first boss at Baron, so I did the 3 quick hat checks that are really easy. So I knew that there was only 2 at Baron and 6 on the moon, so I just played the odds.
That definitely made a lot of sense and really worked out for you there. When you did go and do that, I guess the grind early, was there a specific experience number you were planning to hit there, like a certain number of D machines you were trying to take on?
14 was the number, and I actually ended up getting 15 because I got a triple on the first one, or a double, I guess, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, so I was 1 ahead. But yeah, 14 was the number I was looking for because it was so early. I knew that would get me to, it would get Rosa almost to 2K, and she actually went over it just slightly, and everybody else should have been safe at that point. So that was my number, and I almost screwed it up about halfway through because I forgot to drop an ether on Tele.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
As I say, definitely able to hold that through. And then with those levels in hand, what was your thoughts on looting? Because we did see you go ahead and do some more. Was there anything, I guess, did you know you were looking for something they were going to loot until you found, or were you just going to go ahead and check for a little more power?
My gear was garbage. That's why I was looking. Other than Cecil with Crystal Sword, everything else was just bad. That's why I was checking shops still late. I was looking for Bacchus as well. But it's why I still looked at a few shops. I didn't go to the weapon shop in Feymarch, which I probably should have done, but I was looking for anything for Rosa. Because I knew that even at, what was her health, like 2200, I knew that she had nothing. I mean, she was wearing literally nothing. I knew that I'd be taking big hits on the Big Bang, and her cures were just, they were horrible. So at that point, I was just hoping for brute force, and it wasn't until I started the fight that I remembered that I burned all of my cures doing the D machine grind early, and realized that I had to play things a little bit different. So yeah, that was a little bit frustrating. Again, I knew that was going to be an issue with no Bacchus, and the gear, outside of Cecil, was I was just doing my best to sneak a Zerk in. So
yeah, and that Z did you no favors whatsoever. That was a scathingly fast Aromas there. I'm kind of surprised, given I think you only gave Tella like 1 level there, so I'm pretty sure he was like Agility 9, and I know at least a couple of your characters were RA3 there, or RA1 there, but yeah, that Z was Z was speed hacking there for a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't try to figure out the math on that one. I thought it would have been okay. I must have just got over some sort of a threshold with the levels, and I knew he was going to be fast. Like, I knew he was going to get that shaken before I had a chance for a slow. I pretty much knew that was going to happen, and I just had to pray that it didn't kill Rosa, and it got really close. It actually killed Edge. Yeah, I didn't have Edge for the entire fight.
Yeah, it was definitely kind of a tale of 2 seeds there. I think I kind of looked in the race room a little bit after there, and David did tell you where Ogopogo was sitting,
yep.
Correct?
Yeah, and that was, I didn't even find the Luca key. I saw in the credits that Sheila had it. So, and I wasn't going to do the Sheila checks at that point because I knew I was 3 away at that point with so many different things. I was starting to go into hat check mode basically when I realized how many additional things were open. So, yeah, my if the Baron Key hadn't, it was Earth Crystal and then Baron Key. I was probably planning to go immediately to Moon, and then yeah, they started to drop, and then as soon as Earth Crystal led to 2, and it was just 1 left, it was a no-brainer to go to the Moon.
Oh yeah, especially that seed where we're going to plug 3 into Ordeals and 2 into Zot. Where do you want to find your rest
Exactly. Yeah. I almost went Moon like super early, like after I finished the grind, but figured it didn't make a ton of sense to do that because then I'd be killing Moon bosses for no reason.
Yep. Okay, so the good news is you do move on here, and it does look like you are waiting for your opponent here, which does seem to be the winner of the Commander Leonhardt and Slippery match here.
Cool.
So you do have a little bit of time to kind of think that one over here. But again, you do get to move on, and again, another congratulations.
Yeah, many thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks everybody as always, and yeah, I'm gonna go get some dinner.
Well earned, well played there.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Are we getting David in as well, or is he not jumping in for an interview? Say again? Oh, okay.
Yep. Sounds like we will be joined here by David shortly.
While we are waiting for David here, I do want to go in just do these shout outs again here. For Fire Blizzard, who is seen in chat a bunch here on the tracking. Neon for the last minute jumping in for restream. Again, huge thanks. And for my co-commentator Klopfer, who I don't think I've actually commentated with you before, but it's definitely been good here.
Yeah, well, and a big thanks to you as well, Night 2. And of course, a big thanks to our runners here, bigdunka and David, for putting on a great show for us.
And while we're still waiting on that here, let's go see at, we do have a couple more restreams tonight here. Actually, what's going to be starting in, looks like about 25 minutes over on RPG Limit Break here is going to be Kyrios versus Gambit. Actually, looks like we're doing a raid here over to Rex Banner. So we are going to be signing off here real quick. I'll try to get these in as fast as I can here. Kyrios and Gambit again, about 35 minutes over here on RPG Limit Break. Stone Dingley versus Zyrek on Free Enterprise 2 at the same time. And then at 10 o'clock Eastern, we do have Solaris versus Possumorpheus Game 1, Red Moon Waxing. That's the semifinals right there. Actually, we do have David here a little bit. A little confused. Sorry, one moment.
Okay. Yeah, I heard a ding there. I think that might be David here joining us. Is that David?
Yes, it is.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Real quick here. Again, GG. It kind of did just all kind of come down to the fade of the Twin Harp there, and again, I probably would have been just as I probably would have been just as bad there because Twin Harp is something I love to fade myself. So again, you cannot fault there just fading that. But again, otherwise very well played. I mean, you were kind of exercising that power overwhelming there. So yeah, I mean, again, you were playing that just fine. You were underground a good 15 minutes before Dunka, even with that D machine grind. So again, just random just did not come out for you today.
Yeah. It was a little unfortunate. I'm not too upset about it, because, like you said, I don't think I played too terribly otherwise. There's 3 things that stick out in my mind. That's the first wipe to the Wyvern fight I tried to take because I thought it was free, and overstealing on the Sirens a little bit, and then forgetting to set my battle speed to 6 when I fought Ogo, but I don't know. I don't think those things are too major. Other than those, I'm pretty happy. Like you said, I think sometimes rando's gonna rando.
Yeah, definitely you were playing very well there. You were underground at a very good time with actually quite a big lead there on bigdunka there. From that was your routing. Actually, I very much like your decision, I guess, to not go Twin Harp. Was that very conscious? Like at any point were you thinking I should go check this, or what were you thinking about that?
No, I was a little bit worried toward the end, especially after I did take that Wyvern wipe, But my thought wasn't I should have done Twin Harp. My thought was more if it is at Twin Harp, I probably lost. Because on these flags, I'm not a particular fan of checking Twin Harp ever. Usually on more, quote, standard flags, I like checking Twin Harp if I get it before going down hook route. But I think the big part of the allure to me personally is that it's another chance at the Magma Key. And with the Magma Key off completely on these flags, and the EXP that I would get from the Twin Harp not super impactful, especially when I already had a Crystal Sword. I think I had Mira at that point, or maybe Masa, and the White Spear, and I had Berserk on Rosa and Heroine Robe if I needed it, and all of that. There was just really no enticing thing to lead me down the Twin Harp rabbit hole until the very end.
Makes a lot of sense, and that's a really good call out there on not, knowing that Magma Key wasn't going to be there, just pushing you away from there and just completely fading it. I think that makes a lot of sense. In a lot of cases, yeah, probably does pay off, but yeah, just this seed just wasn't that one.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not too upset about that one. I think for the first time ever, I didn't embarrass myself on Restream.
Oh, you definitely did not embarrass yourself again. You handled that very well. Again, like I said, Rando just did not work out for you. And again, that is unfortunately the ticket out there with Waning there. But yeah, that was that was a good game to go out on there. Again, I mean, those I can still talk. Yeah, those problems you ran into. I mean, there's a lot of people that run those same problems there. I probably would have tried to BS1 that Wyvern, and things would have happened. But yeah. Yeah, it's there's nothing to really kind of keep your head down there, and there are many more tournaments out there. And to be fair, I mean, we just hope to see everybody back, including you. And yeah, I mean, it's just gonna be we'll see you there hopefully, and just hope to see you deeper run for me then.
Yeah, I definitely do plan to be back. Hopefully, you'll see me doing better in the Pink Puff League next season. I plan to go again since I doubt that I graduated myself out with this tournament performance.
Hey, I mean, you know what? As long as you're just having fun doing it, that's all that really matters. So, again, just that's kind of the same out there for anybody who's just played this here. I mean, you could just jump into a tournament, see how you do, have fun. People will teach you, people will learn, and you have fun doing it. And sometimes you just stick your head in a tournament, you do pretty well, and you just head on to the next. But anything else on that, Quapper?
I just want to agree with you on one. It definitely was very well played, so definitely well done. That thanks for putting on a great show for us. And yeah, just to both David and everyone watching, do just jump into these tournaments. It's just a ton of fun. Everyone in the community is just excellent, very supportive on helping you get better. And so just get in here, have fun. It's just a great time for everyone. And again, just big thanks, David, for putting on an excellent race for us today.
No problem. Thank you both for commentating, as well as Neon for restreaming and Fiery Blizzard for tracking. And just to piggyback on something you said, to anybody out there thinking about doing it, you heard me mention Pink Puff League. Well, that is the perfect place to do it on the tournament off season. Very helpful people. I learned a lot there last time, and I'm hoping to learn a lot more to prepare for the next round of tournaments there again.
And you heard the man. That's reason to sign up right there. But again, big thank you here. And again, just the shout outs here. We are going to be, it's just a very small break here as we do have matches starting in roughly about 20 minutes, more 30 minutes there, but the stream's gonna be up in 20 minutes on both Free Enterprise 2 and RPG Limit Break. Smifty versus Grunt, as well as Stone Dingley versus Zyrak. I believe those are both Red Moon seeds. No, actually, Kira's Gambit is Blue Moon. Dingley versus Zyrak is Red Moon there. So, wait, no, actually, they're both Blue Moon. There's so many people here. I just cannot keep my matches straight here.
There's just so much free enterprise, but the important thing is it's just all excellent. So just go watch some races. They're going to be great.
Yep. And again, just a small break here. I believe we were sending people over to Rex Banner there for a moment. But again, if you want to see more Free Enterprise, we have much more on those two channels in just about half hour's time.
As always, just a reminder to everyone in here, don't speak about the previous races. Some people do not get to see them live and are interested in watching the VODs. So no spoilers for this race if you do end up watching the next ones later on today.
Also, I have no idea why I was blanking on Zyrak. I only play him like every tournament. But anyways, yes, we're heading over to Rex Banner here, and just have a good night, everybody. We'll see hopefully on those next races here very soon.
Thanks a lot for joining us.